We're here in the darkness. I work in the dark a lot, work at night a lot, because the internet's easier to deal with in the middle of the morning than it is in the morning. When banks open up, things start to lag a little. It's kind of irritating. I'm just going to point out that if you don't understand physical security means you need to use a remote repo, not keep all your stuff in your office or on site. You need to have a remote location that is physically unattainable by anybody. Because there'll be a lot of people who will tell you, oh, you're just a loser, you're using GitHub or you're using GitLab or what's the other one? I don't recall the name of it. If you're a startup guy, if you're just doing private stuff, you need to have a remote repo. I understand that you have security concerns. Nothing is secure because the NSA has to have their way into everything. For some reason, they're paranoid. Echelon's been going on since like the 80s, and they couldn't stop 2 terror bombings in New York City. They definitely couldn't stop 9/11, but for some reason, a law-abiding citizen of the United States of America has to have his backdoor installed in the machine. Otherwise, he is not in compliance with U.S. law. For some reason, that's a thing. I don't understand it. It makes zero sense. It just tells me the guys who committed all these attacks are probably running the White House and probably running the government. That's all it tells me. That's the evidence. It was all the evidence I needed was that the government tells me that my cell phone, my desktop, my laptop, my server on the internet, my cloud server, my backup server, and the backup for the workstation itself, and all these different devices, whether they're connected to the internet or not, have to have a permanent backdoor written into their software and or hardware somehow, so NSA can gain access to them for reasons. My encryption has to be mildly breakable so somebody can break it. Otherwise, I must be a terrorist, because only terrorists would want to protect their corporate trade secrets from Chinese and Indian hackers. Only a terrorist would want to prevent the Chinese hackers and the Indian hackers from stealing their intellectual property and screwing them out of profit and or existence. Not everybody wants to get iRobotted out, which is really annoying, by the way, because the Chinese killed one of the American companies by stealing its IP. And since China refuses to sign on to an intellectual property agreement or any kind of patent law with the United States, we are dealing with a situation where we are actually paying to bring in Chinese people to become students, to teach them how to be hackers. They do a whole bunch of hacking while they're here and stealing a metric crack load of intellectual property and then run back to China because they can't be prosecuted in China. No extradition. And they're awarded back in China. So we're in a situation where our own government is screwing us over. So you understand the reasoning for the red alert. But that's where we're at these days. Physical security is not good enough because if they know you're writing something in whatever language it is that they want to have access to, they'll break in while you're gone. You can't carry it around with you because they could just pickpocket you or whatever. You might get mugged, you might get shot or something. That's how bad it is. It is that bad. You might get drugged, roofied, and then they steal everything. That happened to me. I was roofied and they stole everything. Hard drives, laptop, thumb drives, everything gone. All of it just stolen right out of my car. And then you have to worry about the troll following you around saying, hey, you're using GitHub, using this, using GitLab, you're doing this, you're doing that. It's like, Yeah, I know you're just a Chinese troll hacking at my fucking conscience, trying to break my confidence and wear me down. So I'll make a mistake. Because, apparently, as a civilian that wants to just write cool software, I have to live like I'm on a special operations mission in my own hometown. That's where we're at because our government will not stop bringing these people in. That's where we're at.